again.
Okay, why is the regional growth strategy important?
Well, the regional growth strategy, as the name might imply, is important regionally for coming up with good land use and transportation decisions. Everything from green space to agricultural land to where the next transit line might go depends a bit on the kind of decisions that we make regionally together about where those priorities are. But it's also important to us, even every block of Vancouver, the quality of life in it can be enhanced or detracted from depending on how the region chooses to grow, where the office space will be, where the jobs will be, whether or not people will be spending a lot of money on highway expansion or not depends on how we work together as a region to make these kinds of decisions.
What's the implication for industrial land?
Well, industrial land's taken a real beating over the last couple decades. We've lost about half of it in the region. And the reason for that is that if you sort of understand how agricultural land works, so you need, a fair amount of land, fairly low job per sort of square foot ratio. For that, you need relatively cheap land. So industrial land is where we get all of our storage in the Lower Mainland, as well as manufacturing base. If that land is under pressure from residential or commercial zoning, it suddenly becomes so expensive that you can't do those things cheaply anymore. When you can't do them cheaply in the region, we start to move our storage out into the valley, so Chilliwack, Hope, those sorts of things. And then in order to move goods from our port to that storage and then back to Vancouver, you suddenly have to start building a fairly expensive road, rail, or other network to move that around. And that's exactly what's happened over the last 20 years as we've lost industrial land. So figuring out, as the region is growing, how to halt that trend and preserve what we have, and even beyond that, think about where future industrial land, good storage, public services, where we're going to be able to provide those kinds of services on land that's relatively affordable for those uses.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you
welcome.
taking the time.
No problem.